This is about the pupil reflex in the eye. So the pupil reflex, it's a reflex arc. I have a video about that if you want to just talk about reflex arcs in general. But the pupil reflex is one you should be familiar with, and you should be able to talk about the details of it. So there are two sets of muscles involved in it, and so I'm gonna use different colors for those. The idea is that in bright light, so this part you probably know, the idea is that the pupil, right, the hole in the middle is going to be very small to control the amount of light that enters, right? And you want it very small so that not too much light enters the eye and damages the retina. The retina is very sensitive, and so you don't want damage to the eye. Almost all reflex arcs are about avoiding damage, like physical damage to the body, whether it's heat or something like that. So this is no exception. So the idea is you have a very small light. Now, like I said, there are two sets of muscles involved. So this is the pupil, and then what I've drawn is the iris, right? That's the colored part of your eye. So there are two sets of muscles. The first ones here go around. These are the circular muscles. And in bright light, these are the muscles that contract. So the idea is that they are by contracting, they basically close up that hole. That's what they're doing. So the circular muscles are contracting. And then the other muscles that are present in the iris are called radial muscles, and they look like spokes on a wheel. Okay. And so the radial muscles here are relaxed. All muscles work in pairs. This is something that we talk more about in A2. So you have, and then as a result, the idea is that the pupil is small or contracted, constricted. Okay, so it's small or constricted, and I'll write what so to prevent too much light from entering and damaging the retina. Okay. Now, so in dim light, you still have those muscles involved, but of course you're going to have a much larger. So the idea is that in dim light you cannot see very well, and so your pupil is going to be a lot larger because you want to allow light to enter. You want to increase the amount of light that's entering here. So you still have the same muscles here, right? You still have the circular muscles going around. I'm just going to draw two sets here. So those are your circular muscles, but these are relaxed now in dim light. So the circular muscles relax. And now the radial muscles are the ones that contract, right? And so by contracting, what they do is they force it open, so the pupil dilates. So the radial muscles are contracted. And what that ends up with is that the pupil is dilated. And that allows more light to enter so that the rods and cones can be stimulated and you can see better. So that's the pupil reflex. If you want to know more about the general reflex arc, I've got another video on that. Or if you are not familiar with these terms and the iris and things like that, then you should check out the eye structure video.